All right. Today's Wednesday. It is 10:16 p.m. It is April 8th. Um, in the past, when I was trading, I would essentially say to myself, "I have to make money." That's what I said. And for a long stretch of time, I'd forget, and I keep as because as long as I have some money there, I would just repeatedly do something. I would keep doing it. Uh, and one day would connect to the next day and the next day and next day as long as I have some funds in it. Okay, that was one way of doing it. The second part is when I buy a challenge and I'm working on it, I say to myself, I have to make money. I have to make money, right? And ultimately, what happens is I would lose. Now these days, what I do is I tell myself this, okay? I tell myself this. I say to myself this. I ask myself this. I ask myself this question: will I be able to make money today? Okay. Will I be able to make money today? Okay. Uh, and it has become a concern. It's become a concern. Okay. It has become a concern because I wasn't sure. Okay. Then I thought to myself, okay, so if I recognize my setup and my setup is there, then I should be able to make money. Okay. And the other part is as long as my mind is intact, okay, again, going back to this mind thing, as long as my mind is intact, I should be able to make money today. Okay. And then, but before I start uh, trading, I ask myself this question: will I be able to make money today? Will I be able to make money today? Will I be able to make money today? And so then I ask myself, okay, so I should be able to make money. Okay, I should be able to make money today. I should be able to. Okay, because I recognize what my setup is, and my setup happens practically all the time. If it doesn't happen at a certain period in a day, it's going to happen a little bit later, or maybe later, or something. But it's going to happen. Okay, it will happen. And so when my setup happens during the day, that means that I have an opportunity to make money because I see my setup. I see that the setup exists. It happens multiple times during the day, and it hasn't occurred, but it's going to happen. And when I see it, I can make money from it. Okay. So I ask myself this question. But I still have this question about, okay, so will I be able to make money today? Will I be able to make money today? So if I was a businessman, okay, if I was running a business, now I'm thinking about this. So if I was running a business, and I have been in business for about 3 years, okay, then on a Monday, on a Monday, this particular time of the a month, this particular time of the year, okay, this particular time of the year, okay, it's not a summer month. It's going to be a summer month. What kind of business am I looking at? So statistically speaking, for that specific period of time, I'm going to have a certain amount of business because the things that I have is the same. It's consistent. Okay? The thing that I have is the same. And so the customers who are looking for it will see it. Uh, it's just like running a hamburger restaurant. Okay? So if I own a restaurant that makes hamburgers, uh, does that mean that I have to like cater to the customers and provide them something called a smash burger in order to improve the customer base, increasing the customer base, or do I stick with the regular type of burgers I'm and 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 hope that it is a continuing business? So far, it has been. So I can gauge based on the businesses that I have been performing with that particular time of the year and specific type of the market conditions that are out there. There isn't another burger restaurant right around the corner, okay, that I know of. So that means that the business should be performing at the level of the expectations that I have historically have seen. Okay, so in trading, it seems to be very simple. It's very similar to that as well. So that means that that's why backtesting is so important, because the backtesting creates this historical data of how effective my trading is. Okay, for a particular setup. So that means that I recognize that during the day it happens a certain amount of times. It happens during a certain situation, and then I'm liable to have see it in a certain part of the day. Uh, and so maybe I shouldn't be trading the Asian market because it's so slow, and it doesn't it's not worth it for me to spend the hours from 4 o'clock Mountain Standard Time to 12 o'clock. That's about 6 hours, right? Oh, 8 hours. Okay, it's 8 hours, 8 hours. Why would I be wasting my 8 hours trading in Asian market where the efficacy of my effort uh, is not panning out? So then when I look at the European market generally has a bit of higher volatility, and it does provide a more liquidity in my trading. So there is some benefit. There is some there is a definite uh, a benefit to trading the European market. And then the New York market, definitely everybody's trading that. And so what I've noticed, so so I'm asking myself this question. So will I be able to make money today? Okay. In the Asian market, probably not. Okay. Probably not. And I don't want to be making money in that either. Okay. So I told so one of these days when I become profitable, maybe I'll open up a restaurant or something, right? And so I sent a text message to a very good friend of mine, and I said, hey, maybe I should open up a fish and chip shop. Okay. And then he said, well, it's probably a very a tight it's probably a niche market here, right? Because this is America. We eat hamburgers, okay, and Chinese food. That's what we do here, okay. So it's probably a niche market. So that means that the market conditions, okay, that means that the market conditions is not conducive to high profitability, opening up a fish and chip shop here, even though Idaho is known globally as the potato capital of the world, right? Right. So then I'm asking myself, so will I be able to make money today? Okay. So I didn't ask this question. Okay. And I wasn't, uh, if I look back, I thought, oh yeah, well maybe I did think about this a little bit. Maybe I did think about it. Okay, in the past, I said, well, will I be able to make money today? But it was purely based on not being equipped with anything. Okay, there was no setups. There was no verification of the setup. There was no back testing of the setup. There was no forward testing of setup. There was no actual historical statistical data told me that when I perform this thing to this particular way that I have certain results, because there were a couple of things that were missing. The psychological component of trading was missing, okay, and then the technical part of trading was missing as well. So when those two things were missing, I could be asking myself, will I be making money today? It's then the response is, well, how lucky are you? Because it's purely based on luck, okay. But I can steer that. I can steer that now. When I ask myself this question, when I ask myself this question, will I be able to make money today? Okay. It is purely based on, then, when that happens, it's purely based on historical data. Okay. The forward testing, back testing, and current set of data, and the efficacy of the setups that I have. Okay. And that is answering that question for me. Okay. So when I ask that question, the response is this: I should be able to make money today. So when I ask this question, okay, when I ask this question, I'm asking this question, okay, so then why do you say that? Why would you say that? Because I have spent the past 5.5 years quieting my mind to the psychological impacts of trading. Okay, that's a big one. Okay, that's a huge one. Okay, the second part is I have also acquired the technical, strategical, systematic ways of making a trade, and I've seen the results, and I have. It's like seeing the light. It's like seeing the light. Okay, it's like seeing Jesus. Okay, it's like seeing the Jesus in a way that says, okay, if I do this, I'll get this result. Okay, if I do this, I will get this result. If I wait for that particular situation to occur and I enter at that specific moment, I should be able to make money today. Okay. So when I asked this question, I was like hesitant. I'm thinking to myself every day. I'm thinking to myself, okay, so as long as I have my mind right, okay, and as long as my uh, okay, as long as my mind is right, okay, which means that psychologically I'm good, and then technically, I've already honed it down the past 5.5 years to try to figure this out. So that means when I ask this question, when the trading day starts, I ask myself this question: will I be able to make money today? Then the answer is the response that I need to be aware of because of these two factors. One of them is I have I have mastered the psychology of trading. I have also uh, gained a statistical, systematic, uh, technical trading system that allows me to be profitable on a consistent basis. Because of those two things, I should be able to make money today.